why the Celtics basically traded Kristaps Porzingis for an undrafted rookie. Imagine overhauling a championship roster and ending up with an undrafted rookie in return for your all-star big man. That's exactly the wild scenario playing out in Boston, and it's raising plenty of eyebrows across the NBA world. But here's where the story really takes a sharp turn. This offseason has been a roller coaster for the Boston Celtics. After star wing Jayson Tatum suffered a devastating Achilles injury during the playoffs, the team's shot at contending, at least for next season, suddenly vanished. Faced with the cold reality that a title run is now off the table, the Celtics management made a dramatic pivot. They started slashing payroll, motivated by the NBA's stricter second apron restrictions that severely penalize high-spending teams. But did they go too far? Let's break down the moves. First, Boston shipped out Jrue Holiday and his $32.4 million salary to the Portland Trail Blazers, bringing back Anthony Simons, a promising guard, but one with a smaller price tag at $27.6 million. Next, they swapped Kristaps Porzingis, owed a hefty $30.7 million, to the Atlanta Hawks in exchange for Georges Niang, who comes much cheaper at just $8.8 million. But wait, this is where things get even busier. ESPN's Shams Charania reported that Boston didn't stop there. Niang and 2 future second-round picks were flipped to the Utah Jazz for R.J. Lewis, a rookie who didn't even get drafted and is only signed on a 2-way contract. This is the move that's sparking debate. Did the Celtics just cash out a star for a completely unproven rookie? For fans who wonder if Boston got fleeced, here's the logic behind the shuffle. With their championship window closed for now, Boston focused on dodging the tax landmines that come with the second apron. Swapping Holiday for Simons cut $4.6 million, and moving Porzingis for Niang shaved off even more. Still, the cuts weren't enough. Boston was trapped above the apron line. That's when the Jazz stepped in, using a special trade exception from the John Collins deal to absorb Niang's contract, and Boston avoided further punitive tax bills. The result? According to ESPN's Bobby Marks, the Celtics' luxury tax bill plummeted from a jaw-dropping $73.1 million down to $30.4 million. Salary cap guru Yossi Goslin estimates that these trades slashed Boston's total roster costs by a staggering $286 million. The dominoes kept falling. With Niang out, the Celtics scooped up veteran Chris Boucher for the bare-bones $3.3 million minimum, slotting him in to fill Porzingis' role at 1/10 of the cost. On top of that, Boston gets to kick the tires on R.J. Lewis, a top undrafted prospect, at almost no risk. Here's the twist and the controversy. Swapping an elite center and a proven guard for salary cap flexibility might make sense mathematically, but for fans, losing the excitement of star power for cost control and a rookie who slipped under every team's radar can feel like waving the white flag. Is shrewd financial planning really worth gutting a core that just won a ring? Could Boston have struck a better balance between future flexibility and fielding a compelling team next year? Sound off. Do you think the Celtics made the right call in prioritizing salary cap savings over short-term success? Or did they pull the plug on this era of contention too soon? Is R.J. Lewis a hidden gem, or just the final proof that this summer's plan was a gamble gone too far? Share your take below, and let the debate begin. Celtics trade Georges Niang to Jazz for R.J. Lewis Jr. NBA 2025 roster moves, luxury tax strategy. Big moves are shaking up the NBA, and here's where it gets intriguing. Boston is making a notable trade that signals both strategic recalibration and salary cap management. The Celtics have parted ways with forward Georges Niang, sending him to Utah in exchange for promising rookie guard R.J. Lewis Jr. But this trade isn't just about swapping players. It's a calculated move with several layers of financial and team-building implications, according to ESPN's Shams Charania. Boston included 2 second-round picks in the deal, highlighting how they value talent development and future assets. After the trade, Boston also brought in veteran forward Chris Boucher on a one-year, $3.3 million contract, as confirmed by Boucher's agent. This signing adds depth and experience to their front court, and fans might remember Boucher's notable contributions with Toronto last season, averaging 10 points and shooting efficiently from the field. On the other side, the Jazz are leveraging a trade exception created when they moved John Collins to the Los Angeles Clippers, an asset that allows Utah to absorb Niang's existing contract without disrupting their salary structure. Niang is set to earn $8.2 million next season, and after that, he'll hit unrestricted free agency in 2026, according to SpotRack. The Celtics initially acquired him earlier this year as part of the package deal for Kristaps Porzingis, and moving him now significantly reduces their luxury tax bill from roughly $73.1 million down to about $30.4 million. As ESPN's Bobby Marks detailed, this financial shift reflects Boston's broader strategy to stay below the second luxury tax apron, a move openly discussed earlier this offseason by GM Brad Stevens. By trading both Jrue Holiday and Porzingis, the Celtics have trimmed their payroll by over $300 million in total cost this summer, showcasing a focus on fiscal discipline and roster flexibility. Meanwhile, R.J. Luis Jr., who signed a 2-year, 2-way contract with Utah back in July, will now slot in as Boston's last remaining 2-way spot, along with Miles Norris and Max Shulga, an example of how NBA teams manage young talent and roster limits. Adding some historical context, insider Jake Fisher had reported as far back as January 2024 that Boston had taken a liking to Boucher, hinting at the potential of bringing him into the fold. Now, that move is confirmed, and Boucher will aim to bring his versatile skill set to the Celtics, having appeared 50 times off the bench for the Raptors last season, averaging solid stats for a role player. All these maneuvers reveal a team that's carefully balancing financial health with roster depth, aiming for a strong regular season and postseason run. Do you think Boston's strategy of mass payroll trimming combined with targeted acquisitions will pay off? Or is this approach risky in a league where star power often makes the difference? Share your thoughts below. Celtics trade Georges Niang to Jazz for R.J. Luis Jr. What it means. Imagine the Boston Celtics summer of trades as a thrilling game of musical chairs, and it looks like they've just made another move. Brad Stevens, the team's mastermind, orchestrated another shuffle on Tuesday, sending Georges Niang to the Utah Jazz. But here's where it gets interesting. Boston also tossed in 2 second-round draft picks as part of the deal, all in exchange for the promising rookie R.J. Luis Jr. Georges Niang, hailing from Lawrence, Kansas, came to the Celtics in a previous swap that saw Kristaps Porzingis head to Atlanta in June. Now he's leaving behind a salary of $8.2 million, which helps the Celtics navigate their financial landscape more comfortably and places them well below the second salary cap apron. R.J. Luis Jr., on the other hand, started his college basketball journey at the University of Massachusetts before finding his stride under the guidance of legendary coach Rick Pitino at St. John's University. During his time at St. John's, Luis Jr. emerged as one of the top players in the nation, earning Big East Player of the Year honors and a spot on the second team of the All-American squad. However, his postseason performance was a bit patchy. In a crucial game against Arkansas, he managed only 9 points on 3 of 17 shooting as the second-seeded Red Storm fell to the 10th-seeded Razorbacks. This trade represents a strategic shift for the Celtics, allowing them to shed a significant salary commitment while welcoming a young talent who has shown flashes of brilliance at the collegiate level. It remains to be seen how Luis Jr. will adapt to the NBA, but his impressive college resume certainly bodes well for his future in Boston. And this is the part most people miss. While the trade seems straightforward, there's an underlying debate about whether the Celtics made the right decision. Some might argue that Niang, despite his salary, provided valuable depth and scoring options. Others could suggest that Lewis Jr. has the potential to develop into a key contributor for the team. What do you think? Should the Celtics be excited about their new addition? Or did they sacrifice too much to get him?